basic overview of what we really going through. It's the closest she gon' get to ever wearing these shoes. Understanding my blues and all my complex moves in response to a system that insists we lose.
I feel like every day as a black man I live underneath numerous tumultuous layers. With all the politics and historical bullshit, it's hard for me to have much faith in these prayers. When I finally cry out from my deepest sufferings, feels like nobody really even cares. Start off talking about my concerns, then what? Instantly, we right back to theirs. Too often the wisdom that I get comes in real small hood certified little bitty squares. Limited in perspective and experiences from people who never really been nowhere. Embracing and affirming the lowest actions and behaviors that ultimately just limit. And praising parasites for debasing and rerunning caustic detrimental gimmicks. In my hood celebrating everything to maintaining the lowest fraudulent order. But thank God we got Miss Ames sweeping the block at 8 o'clock on the dot most every single morning. May not mean a lot to you, but a flickering light here in the dark is really so substantial. Some of us want to make it and escape this violent theater, so we look to our elders, our candles. Still, it's real. Understand the attacks here aren't just purely and simply internal. That's why you see hostility from inequality manifest as blazing infernals. And when I step out my door, I'm criminalized just because, only because of this, my color. And the same thing applies to so many, count it, millions of my sisters and brothers. Dig that.
Here's a basic overview of what we really going through. It's the closest you gon' get to ever wearing these shoes. Understanding my blues and all my complex moves in response to a system that insists we lose. Here's a basic overview of what we really going through. It's the closest you gon' get to ever wearing these shoes. Understanding my blues and all my complex moves in response to a system that insists we lose.
I can't count the number of times I heard of white men massacres, not to mention American colonization, the Holocaust, slavery, and everything after. Still, the media loves to paint pictures showing that blacks today are inherently menacing, demonizing citizens, supporting mass trafficking of black and brown people to local, state, private prisons, misusing their access to technology to devalue a whole group of humans. When confronted, they try to act like they don't understand, they don't know what the fuck they doing. While the people have to live with the consequences of these damaging media campaigns, including being targeted by trigger-happy policemen, killing us like it's a sport with no shame. Union lockouts, unfair housing practices and employment discrimination, subpar health care and a ton of miseducation. Treating us like people our color didn't build this fucking nation. The weight that we carry every day, you can't imagine a sensation. Just to be, I go to sleep knowing I need a lifetime alibi. Mass incarceration got an appetite for black and brown skin that can't be satisfied. Cops, politicians, and judges picking low-hanging fruit for the new plantation cattle ride. I gotta navigate each hurdle every day, every time, just to keep the peace, to keep each dream alive.
Here's a basic overview of what we really going through. It's the closest you gon' get to ever wearing these shoes. Understanding my blues and all my complex moves in response to a system that insists we lose. Here's a basic overview of what we really going through. It's the closest you gon' get to ever wearing these shoes. Understanding my blues and all my complex moves in response to a system that insists we lose.
It's no mystery, check your history, what you done to sabotage much of my rap. That's why I find it so comical to hear words terrorists coming in and out of your mouth. What do you call a system that ensures most men return to prison even after completing their sentences? Put there to incapacitate while you're black tying and white picket fencing it. Who's the dissonant, hypocritical backdoor deal making people? You finish the phrase. While I continue to point out how they pretend to be upright while ensuring that poverty stays. But if you're one of the cannibals I mentioned in Pendulum, you can disappear in the flum haze. This is for my brothers and sisters trying to live righteously, not putting their own in the grave. If you're looking from the outside, now you got the inside, now you know what's really on my plate. You can disagree if you want to, but the truth is, the facts here ain't really up for debate. There's some kids in school so hungry, so cold, they really can't even concentrate. And we got you in foreign affairs like it's all good here in these never United States. Except you and your media basically overlooked thousands of Africans recently slain. But if it were thousands of Europeans, the coverage would be like a seasonal torrential rain. That's why we have to march Black Lives Matter in the streets loudly just to proclaim. It's not the people, it's the system raping the Constitution and going against the fucking grain.
Here's a basic overview of what we really going through. It's the closest you gon' get to ever wearing these shoes. Understanding my blues and all my complex moves in response to a system that insists we lose. Here's a basic overview of what we really going through. It's the closest you gon' get to ever wearing these shoes. Understanding my blues and all my complex moves in response to a system that insists we lose. Here's a basic overview of what we really gone through. It's the closest she gon' get to ever wearing these shoes. Understanding my blues and all my complex moves in response to a system that insists we lose. Here's a basic overview of what we really gone through. It's the closest she gon' get